Good morning, Grove Church, and welcome to our online experience. My name is Cassie, and if today's your first time with us, I want to welcome you, and we're so pumped that you're here. And we would love to connect with you. So if you could go to this link below and fill out our online connection card and indicate that you're a first-time guest, we would love to send you a gift this week. I know that life moves fast and things are constantly competing for our attention. But for the next little bit, it is our prayer that those things are silenced and that you are able to fully connect with God. So get ready, church, because worship starts now.
I was buried beneath my shame, and who could carry that kind of weight? It was my turn till I met you, and I was breathing but not alive. To all my failures I tried to hide. It was my turn till I met you. What a day when you called my name. Then I ran out of that grave, out of the darkness, into your glorious day. You called my name, then I ran out of that grave, out of the darkness, to your glorious day. Now your mercy has saved my soul, and now your freedom is all that I know. The old man knew Jesus when I met you. What a day when you called my name. Then I ran out of that grave, out of the darkness, to your glorious day. You called my name, then I ran out of that grave, out of the darkness, to your glorious day. We needed rescue, church. Let's sing this. I needed a rescue. My sin was heavy, but chains break at the weight of your glory. I needed shelter. I was an orphan. Now you call me a citizen of heaven. When I was broken, you were my healing. Now your love is the air that I'm breathing. I have a future. My eyes are open. 'Cause when you call my name, sing it out, church. I ran out of that grave, out of the darkness, to your glorious day. You call my impossible ever stopped you. Friday's disappointment is Sunday's empty tomb. Since when has impossible ever stopped you? This is the sound of dry bones rattling. This is the praise, make a dead man walk again. Open the grave, I'm coming out. I'm gonna live again. This is the sound of dry bones rattling. Pentecostal fire, you're stirring something new. You're not gonna run out of miracles anytime soon. Resurrection power runs through my veins too. And I believe there's another miracle here in this room. This is the sound of dry bones rattling. This is the praise, make a dead man walk again. Open the grave, I'm coming out. I'm gonna live.
Well, good morning, good morning. Hey, I know when Jason said that Pastor Travis was going to preach today, you guys were like, where's Brad? Dang it, 2021's already starting off a little bit edgy. Unexpected already. But yeah, that's right, I'm here, and I'm super excited. My name is Travis, and I am a student pastor here at The Grove. And I've kind of earned a reputation around the office. Actually, Pastor Jason has coined the term for me as the office Ken doll because of my style and don't you dare use the F word fashion around these manly men. But I was like, nah, bro, what about a G.I. Joe? Like, can I get a G.I. Joe for come on, he's got outfit changes too. Like, let me get the G.I. Joe, you know? But hey, listen, I'm the student pastor and I get to do crazy things. I get to have fun with students. I get to have energy for days, and sometimes I run out, but I just hang out with middle schoolers for a little bit and it gets just that much more ramped up, and I get burnt out, and then I go and hang out with some more middle schoolers and they ramp me back up, and it's just a crazy cycle that's never ending, and my wife gets to deal with all of that, and it's amazing. But I have this wonderful privilege to lead and steward the students here, not only as your student pastor, but as the FCA, the Fellowship of Christian Athletes, North Brevard area representative. And it is truly incredible that I have this opportunity to speak to you today. I have an encouraging message for you that challenged me. I feel like God was speaking to me as the weeks led up to this day that I needed to talk on something very specific. So I'm believing that today God's going to speak right to you like he's been speaking to me as we enter into 2021. And boy, I just want to say it. Congratulations, you guys made it. You made it to 2021. It's a new year. We're ready to go. And I am so excited, if you haven't heard me say that already, because for many of us, we have never been more pumped to say Happy New Year. Like, we're going a little extra with it as we go throughout the community, as we go grocery shopping. We're going out of our way to say Happy New Year to people because we are so over 2020 and we're ready to get into 2021, because I think that we would all agree that 2020 had its fair share of surprises, and that we could describe 2020 as nothing short as crazy, right? Crazy. It's been a crazy, crazy year. And if you're like me, you ended 2020 with some more craziness, because we had all of those holidays. We had all the fun that we get to share with family and gathering, all of the craziness that comes with gathering for the holidays. Hopefully you guys didn't get too crazy in this most recent holiday that we shared. Hopefully you didn't get too crazy on New Year's Eve, but if you did, hopefully you didn't post it up on your Facebook, on your personal headlines, because you never know when Pastor Jason might screenshot it and share it with the whole team. That would be crazy, right? That would be crazy. Crazy is kind of a side effect of the holidays, isn't it? Crazy is a side effect of the holidays. We get crazy with our preparations. We get crazy with our schedules. We get crazy with our gift buying, with our decorations. We get crazy with cooking, and then we get crazy with eating. And how many of you guys know that's what New Year's resolutions are for? And speaking of that, we get crazy with those too, don't we? We get crazy sometimes. I called my wife crazy once. I learned real quick that was a mistake. I was like, Mom, what I meant was you're not crazy. I'm crazy about you. I'm crazy about you, babe. I learned a lot in that moment. I learned a lot. It's okay though. Listen, we can all get a little crazy sometimes. But you know what I think that we could all relate with is the craziness that comes from the preparation of having people over to your house. Me and my wife turn into two crazy people when we're getting ready to get this house prepared for some guests. We're running around, we're clearing the kitchen table off because for some reason everything accumulates on the kitchen table. I don't know why, but everything is there, so we clear that thing off. We get all the laundry from all the different scattered places that we have chosen to put it. We get it all cleaned up and we throw it in the drawers and we start cleaning up under the dining room table because there's crumbs down there and our dog isn't around anymore to be able to clean that up. Who knew we would have to sweep? I didn't realize how cool a dog was until I had to clean the house for the first time when he was gone. But we get crazy trying to get prepared for having guests over at our house. It has to be perfect. And then you really just get overwhelmed. You just throw it all in the bedroom and you're like, just tuck that away. So don't go in my bedroom if you guys ever come over because it's all a ploy. It's all fake. It looks good on the outside, but it's crazy on the inside. And then when you're done, you got to light that Bath & Body Works candle. You know what I'm saying? Light the candle. Everything's good to go. We're ready. It never fails. Everything has to be perfect. And if you can relate with that, then you'll really relate with this story that I want to dive into today. It's in Luke, which is in the New Testament of the Bible. That's the second half of the Bible. And if you look in the second half of the Bible, the New Testament, you'll find Luke in the first 4 books of it. It's right in the middle of Mark and John. And it's Luke chapter 10. And it's this story about two sisters preparing their house and having a dinner party for Jesus. And I want to read it to you today. If you'll follow along with me, it says, "Now, as they went on their way, Jesus entered a village, and a woman named Martha welcomed him into her house. And she had a sister called Mary, who sat at the Lord's feet and listened to his teaching. But Martha was distracted with much serving. And she went up to him and said, 'Lord, do you not care that my sister has left me to serve alone? Tell her then to help me.' But the Lord answered her, 'Martha, Martha, you are anxious and troubled about many things, but one thing is necessary. Mary has chosen the good portion, which will not be taken away from her.'" Now, I don't know how your brain works, but for me, I like to visualize things. Like I like to get into the stories that I'm reading. So I jump in there and I try to picture things as they would be if I were sitting right there in the room. And so my crazy brain is sitting there and I'm thinking that Jesus and Mary are sitting there, they're chilling, they're having a great time. Like there's laughter going on in the room and Jesus is sharing stories with Mary about how him and dad used to throw and play catch back in the day. They were talking about that good time where they created the cosmos together and it was all so much fun and Mary's just like, this is so great, and she's laughing and Martha's in the back just stirring the food like angry and she hears one last burst of laughter like, it's like, that's it. Jesus, I am preparing this meal. I'm working really hard. Can you tell my lazy sister to get off of her butt and come and help me? And I'm thinking that Jesus was like, sister, this is good. Mary has chosen the right thing. But there's so much in this story. There's so much in this story. Not just a crazy sister and a sister that seems like she is copped out to sit at Jesus' feet. But there's one really big observation that I want to make today is that there's two sisters and they're both looking for something. And it's so vital to where I want to go today because we're all looking for something. We're all looking for something in this life. We're looking for our meaning. We're looking for the significance. We're looking for a purpose. We want to find the thing that sometimes people refer to as a calling. What about you? Have you found your calling? Or are you still looking for that thing that will bring your life significance? We look at this thing we call a calling. There's 3 different parts of it that I want to look at it. And the first thing that I want to point out is that calling starts with your identity. Calling starts with your identity. And this is important because I think a lot of us start to form our identity around things that would be identified to us. Like we find our identity in things that we use to identify ourselves. Like think about it like this, because I know that that's kind of weird, right? But think about an investigation, right? They're asking you questions about something that just went down, and they're saying, hey, who was it? What did he look like? What color hair did he have? What kind of car did he drive? Where does he like to vacation? You know, these things that we start to identify ourselves as is just things that are around us or we're wearing or we're doing. We use these things to create identity because that's what our culture wants us to do. Our culture says that you're going to find your significance from the things that you do and the things that you have. But the problem is with the things that we do and the things that we have, the more things we do, the more there's left to do. And the more things that we have, the more things we find are left to have. How many of you guys know that there's always something more to get? There's always one more thing to do. And that's the true discovery of what this culture is dealing with. Because when it's all gone, all of the things, all of the activities, when it's all gone, we find that there's nothing left. And that's a big disaster. That is a big disaster. And this is what I would call situational significance. Situational significance is when what you do or what you have is the source of your significance. I don't want to go down this rabbit trail too far, and I'm not washed up. All right, I'm not washed up, but if I was 6'1", I would have went pro in baseball. No, seriously, I would have. I don't know why you're laughing. I would have went pro in baseball. I was an athlete, and I know that it doesn't really look like it, but I used to hit dingers, home runs. Okay, I never hit a home run in high school, but it's okay. Listen, I would have went pro if I was just 6'1", if I would have had the height. But this is the thing with my baseball career, my baseball dream was everything from about the age of 12 to the age of 18. I was a baseball player, and my dad used to tell me, this is your job. I had the best job. Only issue is I wasn't very good at my job. I played baseball well, don't get me wrong, but I never really put in the effort that I needed. Like, the dream was way too big for my drive. Like, it was an oversized t-shirt, all right? Like, I played baseball from 12 to 18. That was the longest job I've ever had. That was supposed to be funny. But anyway, 6 years long, right? 6-year job. It's probably because I look 12. I'm not 12 still, all right? Anyway, 6 years. This was all of I had. And the biggest thing that I had to face as a young adult when I graduated was that there were no more baseball games. There was no more baseball. The identity that I had found in baseball had just vanished, just like that. Baseball left me, and I had nowhere to find me. It was stripped away. It was gone. And luckily, though, by the grace of God, years later, I would be reminded of who I am through a Savior named Jesus Christ. And here's what I'm trying to say to you guys. If you don't know who you are without what you have or what you do, you are suffering from situational significance. But the truth is, your significance goes so much further than your situation. Your calling goes beyond the things that you have and the things that you do. Your calling doesn't start with accumulations and accolades of prizes and I got this knocked off and that knocked off. That's why in Ephesians 2:10, you'll see it in your program, it says that we are God's masterpiece. Not that we will find a masterpiece, not that we will accumulate masterpieces, but that we are a masterpiece. Not just any masterpiece, but God's masterpiece. And it says that he has created us anew in Christ Jesus so that we can do good things. See, we're created as a masterpiece, and when we recognize that we're a masterpiece, that's when the good works start to happen. When you live from a posture of a masterpiece, you start to do good things. Martha was distracted by all the things that needed to be done. But your calling, it starts with a who, not with a do. See, all these things that we have, they're a good way of identifying who you are, but they don't make your identity. Who you are and who you are called to be is a child of God. I love 1 John 3:1. It says, see what kind of love the Father has given us, that we should be called children of God. And so we are. What's your calling? What is your calling? Your calling is to be a masterpiece, to be a child of God. And I'm hoping that that's what you'll see today, because how you see yourself determines how you carry yourself. And the reason for that is because point number 2 that I want to make today is that perspective clarifies your calling. I love this quote by this man named Stephen Covey. It says that the way we see things is the source of the way we think and the way that we act. And I believe that to be true. And I don't know if you guys know this, but it's no secret that Coke Zero is the official drink of the Grove Church. If a Pepsi is presented to anyone here at the Grove, it is not only rejected, but totally disregard and disgust. We do not drink Pepsi around here. If you drink Pepsi, that's okay. I have a Savior, his name's Jesus, and he would drink Coke Zero. But we do not like anything other than Coke Zero around here. Think about this. If you are a product of a horrific dog attack, there's no way you're gonna embrace my sweet little dog, Jojo, who's 120 pounds. Like, you're not gonna embrace him with a sweet embrace. My son, he had an encounter with a cat at Pastor Will's house. Chloe is a sweet cat, but him and Chloe, my son and Chloe, did not get along the first time they met. So he went over there to their house and he saw Chloe from like a distance. And he was like, Shayna. He doesn't talk like that. He's like, Shayna, cat, put in your room. Put in your room. And so Shayna did what she was told. But it's true, right? The way we see causes the thoughts that we have and the way that we act. How we see causes us to do the things that we do and the way that we think. And I have a question. How do you see your future? How do you see your future? And have you looked back on your past lately? Have you looked specifically at how far you've come? Because I don't know if you realize this, but time does not stop for no one. Time doesn't stop for no one, and we've all lived through those moments that seem like they last an eternity but are gone in a second. The Bible tells us that we are living a life that's like a vapor. And James puts it pretty clear. He says, yet you do not know what tomorrow will bring. What is your life? For you are a mist that appears for a little time and then vanishes. I'm learning that right now with my kids. I've got a 2-year-old boy named Shepard that hits baseballs like a natural already. Not bragging. And then I have a 5-year-old daughter who is just incredible. And then I have a baby due literally on Tuesday, game time, number 3, switching to zone defense. But I'm seeing how crazy time just speeds along. The other day, I was just hit with a train because I stumbled upon some pictures of my daughter when she was about Shepard's age, 2. And I'm looking at these pictures and I'm just thinking, what happened to my baby? What happened? And then, of course, my wife likes to throw some salt in the wound. She's scrolling, finds a video, and then we get to listen to her sweet little baby voice. And it's like, man, you know that there isn't an amount of money that I wouldn't pay to just be able to jump right into one of those frames and just spend 5 minutes with that chunky little girl. 5 minutes, man. How cool would that be if I could just get right into that frame and spend 5 minutes, man? I wouldn't waste a second. I wouldn't be in a rush. I would squeeze her a little bit longer. I would hold her a little bit tighter. I would soak it all up, man. I wouldn't waste a second. And that's exactly what we see Mary doing. In the presence of Jesus, she is just sitting there soaking it all up. She doesn't want to waste 1 second. All she wanted was to sit in the presence of Jesus because she knew that it was going to be here and gone in a second. You know, right now, my 2-year-old Shepherd, he's in this phase where he wants to be just like me. From the things that I do to the things that I say, he just wants every part of it. I was wearing boots the other day, and he goes into his room and he grabs his boots and he says, I wear my boots too, Dada. I said, you got it, buddy. He just wants to be like me. And I am just sitting there looking at him in awe, and I'm just trying to soak up every single bit of it because I know that soon he's going to realize that his dad really isn't all that cool. I'm going to hold on to it, though. But I would soak up every second of that. Mary wasn't worried about yesterday. She wasn't worried about tomorrow. She knew that it was in that moment that she was going to find what she was looking for. She knew that everything in her life had led up to this moment and that her future started right there at the feet of Jesus. How you reflect on your past creates your vision for the future, and this is important because your vision for the future is what gives you strength for today. And that's why Mary was able to sit so completely undistracted because she wasn't confused about her calling. She was completely surrendered to the presence of the Lord. And that's exactly where I'm headed because calling depends on your surrender. Calling depends on your surrender. And I know, surrender? Come on, Trav. You had me with identity, you had me with perspective. Those are cool, but surrender? What happened to never give up? Never surrender. And that scene from Rocky where he was like, it's not how hard you can hit, it's how hard you can get hit and keep moving forward. You got to keep moving forward. Adrian? Nobody? All right. Come on, Adrian. What happened, man? Surrender. And if you're thinking that way, this is what I want to tell you. You're thinking with the world's standard of surrender, which is defeat and loss of freedom. But God's standard of surrender is the opposite. It's victory and freedom. I love this quote. It says that the moment of surrender is not when life is over, it's when life begins. And that's what we see here in Matthew 16:25. And I love the Passion's translation of this because it paints such a good picture. It says, for if you choose self-sacrifice and lose your lives for my glory, you will continually discover true life. But if you choose to keep your lives for yourself, you will forfeit what you try to keep. The only way to satisfy that craving is to seek him in everything that you do. To surrender your life and acknowledge that his ways are better than your ways. I love Proverbs 3:5-6, and I actually have a reminder, an alarm that goes off every single day at 3:56 to just remind me to acknowledge God in all of his ways. Some of you guys may know it. It says, trust in the Lord with all your heart and do not lean on your own understanding. In all your ways, acknowledge him and he will make your paths straight. You see, I think that oftentimes we get caught up looking to Jesus to be somebody in history to give us a set of standards to live by. But the truth that we all need to hear is that Jesus isn't just another good teacher. We've all had enough good teachers. There has been no shortage of good teachers in our history of humanity. There's good teachers in this room right now, and we love you, but we don't need just another good teacher. What we need is a Savior. What we need is a Savior. See, we don't need another good teacher because Christianity, the core of it, isn't a set of teachings to be followed, but it's a gift to be received. And God's promise to our life is that when we receive this gift, that He will make our paths straight. And that's exactly what we see in this story with two people looking for something. Two sisters looking for something. One of them found it. In the story, Jesus says that Martha is anxious and troubled about many things. But He says there's only one thing that is necessary. And Mary has chosen the good portion. He says that will not be taken from her. I love another translation that says that there's only one thing worth being concerned about. And Mary discovered it. There's only one thing necessary. There's only one thing worth being concerned about. And Mary has chosen the good portion. She has discovered it, and it will not be taken from her. See, many of us are trying to find what's really important in our lives. We're trying to find what's really important in our lives, so we work harder to find it. We do more to find it. We work and we work and we work, and we end up anxious and troubled about many things, looking to find what is sitting right in front of us. We're trying to find our calling, when our calling has never been any more simple. So you can't be confused about your calling when you know that you were created to crave His presence. That thing you were looking for, you can find it right here at the feet of Jesus. Mary had chosen the good portion, and it will not be taken from her. It's a new year. It's a new year, and with a new year, we have to have some New Year resolutions. And I'm not gonna talk about all of the cliches that come with the New Year's resolution and all the statistics, because who cares? Start something new. Go for it. I'm proud of you. I'm happy for you. Keep going. But the thing about New Year's resolutions that I want to point out to you guys is that it's all about doing. It's never about being. It's never about being a better man, being a better dad, being a better husband, being a better wife, a mom, a sister, a friend. It's never about being present in this moment. And see, if that's how you're formulating your new year for this new year, then the question I would ask you is, are you looking for God to be a resource, or are you looking to God for a relationship? Because I got news for you, Grove Church, and I'm going to end here in a second, but God isn't a resource. He is the source. He is the only source. If you're looking for something and to bring significance to your life, and you're looking all around and all the things that you can do and all the things that you can have, you're not going to find it, because the only place it can be found is from the source. The source is found right at Jesus' feet. Martha, 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 have a seat. Stop trying to do so much. Just be here with me. God is the source, but the only way that we can hear from Him is to be in a relationship with Him. And the only way to be in a relationship with Him is to go through Jesus. Some of you guys are, for the very first time, hearing that news, that the source of your significance is found in the presence of God at the feet of Jesus. And today in 2021, on the 3rd of January, could be the moment that takes your life to a whole nother level. Your calling is to be a child of God, to sit in his presence, to soak it up. And that's my prayer for you, Grove Church.
Our hope and strength. You made a way, you unlocked these chains, giving your presence strongholds break, freed by the love you gave. So we give you the highest praise, for you deserve it all, you deserve it all. We give you the highest praise, for you deserve it all, you deserve it all. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Deserve it There on a tree, a merciful King, broken and shamed for all to see. The Father laid down his Son. From darkness to light, and death lost to life, heaven and earth will join and sing. Jesus has overcome, and we give you the highest praise, for you deserve it all, you deserve it all, and we give you the highest praise, for you deserve it all, Jesus, you deserve it all. We give you the highest praise, for you deserve it all, you deserve it all. We give you the highest praise, for you deserve it all, you deserve it all. With every breath that's in my lungs, my heart cries out, to you belongs the glory. Through every loss or victory, my soul will rise to only bring you glory. With every breath that's in my lungs, my heart cries out, to you belongs the glory. Through every loss or victory, my soul will rise. praise, for you deserve it all. You deserve it all. And we give you the highest praise, for you deserve it all. You deserve it all. And we give you the highest praise, for you deserve it all. Jesus, you deserve it all. Every breath that's in my lungs, my heart cries out, to you belongs the glory, the glory. Through every loss or victory, my soul will rise to only bring you glory, you glory. And we give you the highest praise, for you deserve it all. You deserve it all. We give you the highest praise, for you deserve it all. You deserve it all. You are here, moving in our midst. I worship you. I worship you. You are here, working in this place. I worship you. I worship you. You are here, moving in our midst. I worship you. I worship you. And you are here, working in this place. I worship you. I worship you. 'Cause you are waymaker, miracle worker, promise keeper, light in the darkness, my God, that is who you are. And you are waymaker, miracle worker, promise keeper, light in the darkness, my God, that is who you are. And you are here, you are here, touching every heart. I worship you. I worship you. And you are here, Lord, healing every heart. And I worship you, yeah. And I worship you. 'Cause you are here, Lord, turning lives around. I worship you, and I worship you. And you are here, Lord, darkness. My God, that is who you are. Let's sing this out. And even when I don't see it, you're working. Yes, even when I don't feel it, you're working. You never stop working. You never stop working. Yes, even when I don't see it, you're working. And even when I don't feel it, you're working. You never stop come on. You never stop working. Yes, even when I don't see it, you're working. Yes, even when I don't feel it, you're working. You never stop working. You never stop working. Yes, even when I don't see it, you're working. Yes, even when I don't feel it, you're working. You never stop working. You never stop, yeah. You are waymaker, miracle worker, promise keeper, light in the darkness. My God, that is who you are. You are waymaker, miracle worker, promise keeper, light in the darkness. My God, that is who you are. We say, that is who you are. That is who you are. Yes, that is who you are. That is who you've always been, Lord. That is who you are. That is who you are. Yes, that is who you are. That is who you are. Miracle worker, promise keep, light in the darkness. My God, that is who you are. 'Cause you are waymaker, miracle worker, promise keep, light in the darkness. My God, that is who you are.
Hey, Grove Church, we hope that you found that message very encouraging. I have no idea where each one of you is at in your faith, but I have a link that you can go to right here. Maybe you've never taken that step into a relationship with Jesus. Well, hey, I want to walk with you. My team wants to walk with you as you take that step. So go to this link right here. Fill out that card. If you want to know God more, know God deeply, please fill that out. Either myself or my team will reach out to you this week. Hey, Grove Church, we are able to do so much here because of your irrational generosity. Supporting the work of ministry is so important. It allows us to be the hands and feet of Jesus if we need to. So thank you so much for supporting the work. You can continue to do so at this link right here. You guys have a great week. We'll see you real soon.